So when it comes to being a YouTuber and editing your own videos, it could be a long and tedious process. And in this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 of my most valuable tips for you guys to utilize in terms of editing your own videos to improve the quality of your content. This will allow you to save a ton of time, increase efficiency, and just overall create better videos. Make sure to stay till the end because the last tip is a make or break and no one talks about it. I'll have timestamps down below. Let's get right into it. So my very first tip is to be utilizing file management. If you don't know what I mean, as an editor, one of the most important things when it comes to your projects is that you have the files in an accessible and easily planned out manner. So for example, let me quickly show you how I manage my stuff. So when it comes to my footage, I have different folders with the dates of recording. So I can easily access whatever footage it is that I want to find. And then all of my unedited stuff, I keep in just the folder itself and I will address it to the proper video. You can see right here, I have my TikTok footage in one location, building my girlfriend her dream gaming setup in that location. And that's just an example of my footage. Now, same thing with my presets. When I come over here, we can see that I have all of my TikTok stuff just right here. My transitions are right here according to the software. And then if we also come here, I have my Premiere stuff right here. This goes the same with assets. I have my pop-ups right here, as well as sound effects. I have them all in here. And music, I have them sorted by type of song. So I got my hip hop stuff in here for my content, my review songs for like tech reviews, comedy for like funny intros, Eric Reppert for background stuff, TikTok background for all my TikTok sounds. And that's pretty much that. It obviously will take you a bit to actually set this up, but once you have it organized and you have it pinned to your quick access, it's an absolute game changer. It will allow you to save like the extra 5-10 minutes of finding everything that you need for your project. So that's my first tip and I highly recommend it. Next up is going to be actually establishing your editing process. So in here, what I have is I have a final product of one of my videos, and I'm just going to quickly walk you through the way that I have my editing process. Establishing an editing process is an absolute game changer when it comes to editing your YouTube videos, because if you have a specific order of how you do things and how you edit your videos, it'll be a lot faster than just randomly putting things together and going through step by step in a random non-specific order. I started doing this a couple months ago and it's made a huge difference in terms of the videos that I've edited for myself and my own clients. And it looks a little something like this. I'll drag in the footage that I have for this project and I'll go through and I'll cut everything. And once my entire project's cut up, it'll look a little something like this. We can see that that looks a lot different than my J-cut footage right here. And that's going to be the next step in my process. So what I do from there is I go through my cut footage. I'll do like J-cuts and stuff like that. I'll come through and do literally all like this, and it will end up looking a little something like that, but throughout my entire video. The next step in my process is coming through and adding my transitions. And then from there, I move into subtitling. Then I add all my effects, my music, and my sound design. Your process doesn't have to look exactly like that, but if you establish something along the lines of that, even if you switch those steps around, chances are if you're focusing on the right thing at the right time, it's going to make your video edit a lot faster than it would be if you were to just randomly edit stuff. Next up is going to be utilizing presets. This is probably one of the more obvious tips on this list, but imagine if when you go to add an effect to your videos, you have to individually alter the settings absolutely every single time. Imagine how long that would take. That's why I highly recommend utilizing presets for things such as subtitle animations, transitions, effects, pop-ups, etc. An easy way to do this in DaVinci Resolve, for example, is to come over to a clip, and let's say you have something like a glow effect on it. All you have to do is right-click on it, go to your settings, and then you save as to your presets folder, which I mentioned in the file management section of the video. And all you have to do is literally just drag and drop from your file explorer once you've done that. This will allow you to keep consistency in terms of the quality of your videos and effects while making it a lot easier on yourself. My fourth tip is going to be utilizing keyboard shortcuts. Whether this is binding your own keybinds or learning the different keybinds in the software itself, this is going to allow for your workflow to be a lot quicker than if you were to just click on random buttons and not know how to use it. So a super simple example of this would be the blade tool in DaVinci Resolve, which is this button right here, and you would come through and click on everything. But if you want to save that extra time of coming up here and clicking on it, you just press B on your keyboard. You have the blade tool easily accessible. Another tool would be ripple delete. For example, if you didn't know how to ripple delete and you had a section like this and you deleted it, you'd have to like drag, select, bring all your footage over. Versus if you knew how to ripple delete, you click on this, press shift delete, and it would bring everything over by itself. And that probably saved me a solid 5 seconds for that clip alone. So imagine if you utilize ripple delete for your entire video versus coming through, clicking on it, dragging. You probably are saving 10 to 15 minutes just by using ripple delete alone. If you want to add your own keybinds in DaVinci Resolve, all you have to do is come up here to the DaVinci Resolve button, go to keyboard customization, come through, and then for anything you want to do, you can do like cut, and it shows you the keybind. So for example, if I wanted to change my cut keybind to something like C, I could press save. If I click on a layer and I press that keybind, it just gets rid of it instead of pressing backspace, which is kind of useful. You can do this for anything. You can explore the different controls. Literally, there are so many different options for this in terms of pasting, insert, ripple deleting, ripple cut, ripple overwrite, redo, paste. Literally anything you want, you can change inside of this menu. So I highly recommend you do that. This also makes muscle memory a lot easier, because imagine if you were using something that DaVinci Resolve just had as the default versus if you were using something that was a lot more comfortable for you to press on your keyboard. You'd probably learn how to do it a lot faster. So I highly recommend you learn how to do that. Lastly, I'm going to talk about sound design, which is the most important tip on this list by far. This can come in many different shapes and forms, whether it's just music, sound effects, using secondary audio tracks, but I highly recommend that you learn how to implement this in your video. For example, I use sound design in this video to sync up music with different segments of my video. So for example, we can see the intro, and then once I show this, it switches to a different song. Once I go to my girlfriend setup, it's a different song. Once I start building the setup, it's a different song. Once I start talking about the setup, it's a different song. Once I do a setup tour, it's a different song. And then once I start playing games, it's another different song. And then the second part, I transition into a different one. And then the outro has its own song. So that's like the super base level example that I can give you guys in terms of sound design. Also, I highly recommend that once you download your own sound effects, like right here, you start utilizing that, because literally sound design will make a huge difference in terms of the quality of your videos, the content you're posting. And it will take an extra 5 minutes, but if you're saving time using all these other tips on the list, you can afford to spend an extra 5 minutes to make your video 10 times better. That's actually going to do it for the video, guys. If you guys enjoyed and you learned something new, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Helps me out a lot. We're grinding to 100,000 subscribers. If you want to watch another video, make sure to go check out this one here, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.